What's up, world? I'm Jesse,
I'm Demi.
and we're going to talk to you about the new adventures of Shark Boy and Water Girl.
We're here to talk about Aquaman.
We're going to talk about Mermaid Man. So
We went to an early screening of Aquaman.
we did, which is why this spoiler review
Is on time.
is on time-ish.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah, look at us moving up in the world. So anyway, tell them what Waterboy's about.
What? Yeah. What? It's called Aquaman.
All right.
So Aquaman follows obviously Aquaman, aka Arthur Curry.
Which they never say the last name in the whole movie.
They never. Yeah, they never
Which
say
is weird,
Curry.
because this is the kind of movie that should embrace that last name.
Arthur Curry.
Yeah.
Arthur has to fight his half brother in order to reclaim the throne, but first he has to go on a treasure hunt to find the lost Trident of Atlan, of the ancient King Atlan. Yeah.
The Ark of the Covenant. This movie is the definition of the word fine. It's the cinematic equivalent of in one ear, out the other. Didn't it?
You and Colin really need to just come up with a word for that.
Yeah, it's just, it was there, it happened. I didn't really hate anything in the movie. Some of the visuals, maybe. No, what'd you think?
I liked it. I wanted to love it, but I didn't. I liked it. It was, there were things about it that I did love, and then there were things about it that I was like, this is kind of average. I kind of wish that I can see where you guys are trying to go with this, but it's not. You're not quite there yet. You didn't execute it quite right. But there are things that I love. It's nowhere near Wonder Woman.
It's nowhere near Wonder Woman, but I do think it feels more like this is kind of the quality we've come to expect from a DC movie. It feels like just another one. Now, the tone is completely different because they got a lot of flack for being so dark and serious with all their other movies, so they went completely in the other direction and basically made a really expensive Saturday morning cartoon. But as far as quality goes, this is just another in the pie. If you don't like the DC movies going forward, this is not the one that's going to bring you on board.
I don't know. It might. People might enjoy this one just for,
being different.
For being I think it's enjoyable. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun adventure.
They've all had fun, enjoyable moments, but...
So we should talk about Arthur Curry, the man, the legend, the Aquaman, who is now no longer just a joke.
Yeah, they made him cool.
I've always... Well, not always, but since I started reading Aquaman comics, which is a very short-lived time, I've thought that Aquaman's pretty cool.
Well, very recently, they made Aquaman cool in the comics. I wanted the shot in this movie from the comic panel where he just, raises a trident and just great white sharks come out of the ocean and start taking down helicopters. We're going to get that.
That's not too cheesy for you? That's not too much?
No, that would have been awesome. And honestly, I think Aquaman was my favorite part of this movie, which...
He should be.
He should be.
It's
called
Aquaman.
Yeah, I thought Jason Momoa did a really good job playing, Jason Momoa in the movie for 2.5 hours. But again, even his performance, there wasn't much to it. He was just there to be charming and crack some one-liners, and except for at the end of the movie where he suddenly becomes very serious and doesn't really seem earned. It's like, suddenly I will become the king that you need me to be. I'm like,
see,
okay.
That was my thing, because, one, I was very happy that is where he ends up, because I've been saying since Justice League that the Aquaman that I like is... He's a king. He's a diplomat. He wants to bring together the land and the sea, and he wants to be, a good leader.
Because see, there's a line where the sky meets the sea, and it calls him.
Yeah. He can still be, fun and, my man.
My man.
But, I still want him to be a diplomatic king, and I'm glad that the movie led in that direction. I feel like there should have been more scenes that did gradually build up to that. And I think most of the scenes where that happens are like the Raiders of the Lost Ark-esque treasure hunting scenes.
Yeah, in the desert and all that.
Yeah, all those, the desert, Italy, those are the scenes that really build to that point, and all the other scenes don't really get there.
Yeah, see, I think my problem with this movie is it feels like that's where the movie was, that's where it lived, that's where it started, and that's where it ended.
Oh, it's those scenes are
scenes were cool.
All the treasure hunting scenes are fantastic, and I love it.
But again, I feel like that is a detriment to the movie. Because the best parts of this movie are the parts that don't take place in Atlantis, and that...
Well, I feel like if they had taken the tone from the adventure treasure seeking and put them in the underwater scenes, that would have been...
should have.
It would have been...
But they didn't.
Those would have been great. But I do like the world building in the movie, though. I do like the different kingdoms.
I feel like there wasn't much of that. It's like we get to see pretty pictures of these areas in Atlantis, but we don't spend any time.
No, we don't spend any time.
We don't get to know it. We don't get to be like.
I think they're nice
It
introductions.
wasn't like Wakanda. You know,
No,
Wakanda,
it
you
wasn't.
felt like you were in Wakanda. This felt like, look, you're going to fly by it for one scene, which you see in the trailer. That's basically the amount of time that Atlantis gets in this movie. And then one scene in the throne room, one scene in the Ring of Fire, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then occasionally we cut back for 30-second segments at a time.
I liked getting to see all the different kingdoms that make up the ocean.
Yeah.
And I liked those
They all look the
introductions.
same, though.
And that was that would be my one critique is that they
Yeah.
all kind of look the same.
Like,
But-
when they go into these different throne rooms, I'm like, are those not all the same throne room?
Yeah.
Like, if this movie wasn't so obviously CGI, I would assume they'd only built one set and just swapped out the actors.
Yeah, but like, you know, but anyway, back to Arthur.
Back to Arthur.
Jason Momoa does a great job.
Yeah.
No, that's just
He's
good.
just
He's
being
ju-
Jason
yeah,
Momoa,
he's-
so they
yeah.
hired him to... He doesn't really act in the movie. They just hired him to be himself, which is a cool gig. Good for him. He's going to make a lot of money putting in little to no effort to be this character. So good.
to be
good on
fair
him.
though, if they keep going towards the direction that where he ends up at the end of the movie, then it'll be
Yeah, it might
less
be
him.
going
It'll be
forward, but-
less him acting like Jason Momoa and
I'm
more
so
him
mad because I
acting
feel like
like
this
the
movie's going to
character.
make more money than Into the Spider-Verse. I'm very upset about that.
It is. It's definitely.
I
one, too.
don't like that at all.
I was thinking about that yesterday. and I
Stay
was like,
tuned
that's
for our Into the Spider-Verse review.
cool. There's nothing really more to say about Arthur.
Yeah,
Curry.
I mean,
He's-
again,
he's
like,
great.
he was good. He did his job
If you liked-
satisfactorily.
If you liked him in Justice League, you'll like him in Aquaman. Like,
And if he annoyed you in Justice League, I think you'll like him in Aquaman. I think,
really?
yeah. Because Aquaman, Justice League, I feel like he got a little grating sometimes.
Okay.
Just because his tone was so radically different from the rest of the movies.
That's fair.
Whereas this one, you really do... Yes, he's funny, but he's not like... He's not being goofy. He's not a comedic character. He's just a normal guy
Okay.
with a sense of humor in this one. And I think that comes across more in this movie than it did in Justice League.
Okay.
Which is what I liked about him. He seemed like a dude that you would know, that you could go hang out with.
I love
Yeah.
the scene in the bar.
In the bar, yeah, that was good.
Where the guys
like I said,
come
all,
up to
all
him.
the best parts of this movie don't take place in Atlanta.
Where the guys come up to him at the bar and and you think
That
that
was
they're
good.
gonna start some trouble, especially with like the way these movies go. There's always like that one scene where
Yeah.
they're in the bar and somebody
for
just
some
starts
reason they pick
trouble.
on the
yeah,
godlike giant
I think
man.
Wonder Woman has a scene like that. Man of Steel definitely
Man
has
of
a
Steel,
scene
ugh,
like
that's
that.
so stupid.
And like instead of it being the guys come up to him like, "Hey, you that fish guy, right?" And
Are you the fish boy?
are you the fish boy?
Because the line was really good where he stands up and he goes, "Fish man."
Yeah.
I was like, that was good.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" I
was
love
cool.
that. I love that.
And I love
Okay.
the picture montage where he starts off like,
Ugh.
and then by the end of it he's having a good time hanging
Yeah,
out
they're
with the
all
boys.
like hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Again, he felt like a real dude.
Aquaman's the dude that you want to hang
He's
out
funny and he's angry, but those aren't his defining characteristics. He's just a guy.
with. Yeah.
He's like an average Joe who happens to look like beef.
He happens to look
He's
like
just a
beef.
cake of beef. Amber Heard plays Mara or Mira, depending on who in the movie is saying it.
That happens in a lot of movies, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like when you everybody should really just start talking before the movie. And
To
just go,
be
this
fair.
is how to say it.
It happens with you all the time.
Yes,
We
it
all
does.
pronounce your name differently.
Yeah, it's true. My
Some
name.
people say Demi, some people say Demi, some people say blah, blah, blah. It's weird.
I have
Yeah.
the same issue as she does apparently.
Yeah.
Um,
But, yeah, she was, fine. She
See,
was there.
I think she was great, and this is because I love her character in the comic books.
Sure.
Mara is just like in the comics. She's like a great advisor to Arthur. She's a
Sure.
great wife. She's a powerful woman as well, and she's a fighter all on her own.
Cool.
And like,
And she's almost none of those things in this movie.
I disagree.
She's a powerful fighter, yes, that part.
No, she's a
But
powerful.
she's not really an advisor to
Yeah,
anybody,
she
and she's
is.
not a great wife to anybody.
Well, she's not a wife yet, no, but what I love is that she's already most of the things that she needs to be later on. She's already at that point where she is a great support to Arthur. She is a good advisor to Arthur. She gives him really good advice, like most of the time.
I feel like that was more of Frollo's job or whatever his name is.
No, but when she, like, one of my favorite scenes is the one of them on the plane. I think they're on the
Okay.
plane. Where they're talking and he's just like, well, I'll get you back to your people or whatever. And she's like, no, I can't go back. Like, literally, I love the fact that Mara in this movie sacrifices everything that she has for the sake of her nation, which
Right.
is who Mara is as a queen. In this movie, she is already prepared to be a fantastic queen, even though she's not the queen yet. Amber Heard plays her very well. Like, there's never a moment where, like, I feel like she's undermined. Like, her
No,
power,
that's true, but
her power never seems undermined. I love her power set.
power set that would only... Now, you didn't notice this, but I did. That her eyes would only glow sometimes.
See,
So
I
I'm
never
wondering
noticed.
what that was.
I never noticed that her eyes didn't glow on certain
That's
occasions, but I love whenever she used her hydrokinesis. It's like.
Which, by the way,
super
do they ever explain in the movie why she has that and no one else does?
I don't
You
know.
did it.
Yeah, they don't explain that in the movie. But
She's
it
just-
looks cool when
okay.
she does it.
Yeah, it looks cool.
She's awesome when she does
Oh,
it.
I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna take it back. I don't think it looked that cool.
I
Like
think
when she's doing it on the fountain in Italy with the kid, I'm like, that looks like the Last
that was
Airbender.
adorable.
The scene was adorable, but the
That
look
scene,
of it. We're
other
talking
than
about the look of it. I'm
Other
like, the
than the
look was
stupid
not.
music, it's adorable.
Oh god. Well, okay, but that again, therein is why I'm like, she was just fine. I don't think she was bad. I think everything you said was correct, but at the same time, she is like standard love interest
I
protagonist of the
don't
movie.
agree with that at all.
It's like you can see every beat coming because you've seen it in a million
most
movies.
love interests though don't get the amount of like. They don't have anything to do. They just fall in love with the hero, or they get kidnapped, or both at the same time. Whereas Mara actually has like, she has motivations. She has a reason why she's doing the things that she's doing. We get a better understanding of her as a person and not just as a love interest.
Sure.
And she's also the only reason why this movie actually gets kick started.
Yeah, but that is my point, because I feel like there's two types of love interest. There's the first category, which is the one you're describing, which honestly we haven't seen much of in this decade.
Which is why I enjoy
Second of
that
all,
she gets to be that.
But now what the new cliche is that it's the one who still does all those things, falls in love with the hero, is exposition, and can fight. And if she falls into the second category of like everything she said or did, you saw coming before she said or did them. Like, this is where you're going to bicker with him. This is where you're going to have a fight scene. This is where you're going to stare at him longingly when he's not looking. And
Yeah,
he's
but
going to stare back at you.
that's
when you're
why I
not
like
looking.
the airplane scene. That moment where she opens up to him about
Right,
no,
that's the
I.
bicker. Oh,
No,
okay,
they're
yeah,
not
I
bickering.
get what you're
She's
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
"Hey, I can't go back. I'm giving up everything
Sure.
to do this."
But again, we never really get to.
and
feel
also,
it at all.
and also that equivalence of her with his mother as well. I'm sacrificing things for you for the sake of our nation, and
Sure.
those are the things that are important to me. And most of the times, I feel like we don't get that much insight into the love interest because the hero is far more important. And I appreciate the fact that she was his equal and not just
Yeah.
there.
Well, because he's barely there as it is.
Well, no, but even hopefully in the sequels, they will continue to make her his equal because
Sure.
in the comic books, she is his equal. That's why.
Although I don't know, because now he can control like the entire ocean, so I don't think anybody's going to be his equal.
Well, no, not equal as in like in power, but equal as in we are partners. I'm not just your.
Okay.
I'm not just your
Sure.
girlfriend. I can defend myself if I need to. I can go off and do all this stuff. I can take control of the situation. Like I can.
I think there are better ways to do that than just color by numbers.
What I enjoyed, but wish that they had gone more into, was her being engaged to Orm.
Yeah.
Another way that they had.
It's
you
just
know,
kind of one scene throwaway.
Yeah, another way that they had paralleled her to his mother, her, being engaged to somebody else and
Yeah,
falling
yeah.
in love with somebody else.
Yeah.
King Orm,
Team Orm.
Arthur's half brother.
He was fine.
Yeah, I agree with that one. He's fine. I think that he's a better villain than we've gotten from most of the DC movies.
Yes, because but again, that's not saying much.
Yeah, it's not saying much. But
Although I don't know, I think Zod was a good villain.
I don't really remember that movie too much. It was a lot. I think Patrick Wilson does a great job playing him. I think
he's fine.
like there's not much in the writing for Orm.
Well, even the performance too. I think there are scenes where he's like, because of you, my mother's dead. This is why I hate you. And I'm like, okay, that's a good scene. But then at the same time, there's Atlantis, fight for me. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Come on. This is like.
I think this is a direction thing though. Some of these line deliveries are definitely.
I agree. I think, and I hate to say this because I love James Wan, but I think the worst part of this movie is James Wan. I think he drops the ball hard. Because this to me it looked and felt like one of those superhero movies that we used to get back in the day before we knew how to make superhero movies. This is like the old Captain America movies from like the 70s. Orm was a lot of that. His costume, even before he wears the full stupid rubber
helmet.
mask thing.
I think his mask was just too shiny. I wish that
again, the texture. There's no texture there. It just looks
everything is so shiny in this movie, except for Black Manta's costume. Black Manta's is rather matte.
That's plastic.
He's a matte black.
Even before he put that mask on, his look, his dye job was terrible.
I liked his.
There was just something about his whole Malfoy-ness.
I thought the blonde hair was fine. I liked it better when his hair was like slicked back.
Yeah.
There was something about whenever it was waving in water that I was like.
Well, I like the concept of him and Volkswagen both having their hair slicked back because they're underwater, so they don't want their hair flowing everywhere.
I did like Orm's motivation. Well, one of his motivations. He had like two.
Yeah, again, that's...
It was like a realistic motivation. I kind of wish that they had built on it a little bit more. But the idea that, like, yeah, he's kind of right. We're trash. Like...
Well, okay, but again, that's why
We're
it's one of the reasons I don't like this movie, because we start off this movie relatively seriously. It's
Oh,
taking
yeah,
itself
it
seriously.
starts
There's a
seriously.
message there about, the fact that we're polluting the ocean. We get the only actual emotional connection you feel in the movie with Tamara Morrison's character, his dad,
and Nicole Kidman.
and Nicole
At
Kidman.
Atlanta.
But there are two moments in this movie where I realized something was wrong. The first one comes during the Ring of Fire death battle between Orm and Aquaman. Because up until this point, the movie has been taking
Pretty
itself
serious,
seriously. It still looks cheesy as all hell, but the storyline and all that is serious.
I mean, they flooded the city.
Right. And then suddenly there's a squid playing drums. And that's when I went, what the hell was that? Because we just kind of skate over. Like, there's just a... And it reminded me, because when that exact same scene was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, a movie that is supposed to be a goofy comedy, even that, it was too much for that movie. The second moment, which is the moment that I think James Wan gave up, just even trying, and Colin and I gave up trying to watch it, was when Black Manta showed up in his full armor. That was the turning point where I was like, this movie just... I'm done.
Freaking love Black Manta.
But when we first meet him, it's very serious.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole scene, which I actually loved the scene with his dad.
The submarine.
Right, and I like that relationship between him and Aquaman was great. Manta's like, hey, you can't leave us like this. Help him. You killed innocent people. Let the sea for forgiveness or something. That was awesome. That was great. And then all that character development that I thought we were gonna get just goes away, and we're replaced by this ridiculous Power Rangers villain.
I like Black Manta.
Okay.
I think what I really liked about Black Manta in this movie was the way that they set up the rivalry between him and Aquaman.
The setup was great.
But even just the whole thing, just as a whole movie, just like this is the beginning of Black Manta starting to hunt down Aquaman. And I thought that Yahya Abdul-Mateen, I believe his name.
I thought he was fine.
Third?
I thought he was so over the top.
See, I thought he was great. I thought that he actually...
From his facial expressions to
I
his
thought he actually-
dialogue.
Dialogue occasionally was off-putting.
Occasionally?
But I think that he was...
when
I think he's menacing. I think he comes off as...
I found him so goofy.
Especially in comparison to Orm, I found him very menacing.
But see, there's something more... I mean, this might get political. I'm going to try not to. But there's something more menacing about just this Aryan blonde dude who has an entire kingdom at his disposal than there is about this dude with the plastic war suit going... Maybe this will let you know who I am, and then the blade.
That only happens once.
No, it's every line of dialogue.
It only happens.
Because then Aquaman goes, "Oh, you're the guy from the submarine." He goes, "Yes, but now I have Atlantis steel.
That is only
you can call me Black Manta."
That is only when he's...
And I'm really not even exaggerating.
That's only when he's in the suit, and that's only one scene.
Most of the
no,
scene
it's
he's
not.
in.
That's only
we
one
get
scene.
the opening scene of him, and then we get another scene of his...
He's in like 3 or 4 different... 5 scenes.
Dialogue, not including the end credit scene, where...
He's only in the
his
suit
main
for
thing
one
is
scene.
Right, but that's his main thing.
It's not,
when he
though.
shows up as Black Manta. The rest of it, like I said, I liked his opening scene.
I like...
And then the opening...
all of
or
his
the,
scenes.
the
I don't
other,
like the dialogue for when the fight scene, but everything else that
the
he
weird
does in this
water
movie is
hologram
great.
scene was fine. There's nothing to it and stand out in any way.
I love... Like, he just... I liked the setup for him, and I'm like, yeah, he's going to be good as this series goes along.
But even then, he was still over the top. He didn't have a voice modulation to go on top, but it was still like, I want Aquaman. That'll be my only payment. I'm like, all right, sure.
All right, well, clearly we disagree.
We disagree on Black Manta. I just thought he was very ridiculous. He was the most ridiculous part of this very ridiculous movie. So that's pretty much all the characters that matter. I mean, Nicole Kidman was good in the part that she had. You know, she did what she could with what she had.
Willem Dafoe is good as Volko.
Willem Dafoe's Volkswagen is great. Hey, he's fine. Again, he's not great. He's fine.
I love the move that he teaches him though. The spinning
with the water on the...
Yeah,
that was cool.
The twirling trident. It's dope.
I thought the only one who impressed me in this movie was Tamora Morrison, because he gets so little screen time. But I thought everything that he had to do
was really good.
Was fantastic. I thought he was really good.
But
he's also in a different movie. He's in a very serious, dramatic film, and he's putting his all into this 2 minutes of screen time, and he kills it. I thought he was really good. Julie Andrews is good.
Julie Andrews is also good.
She's good for
unrecognizable.
Well, I mean, yeah, because she's a giant squid monster.
No, I mean, even her voice is unrecognizable.
Here's the thing about that giant squid monster. Here's the thing. Y'all need to know this about me. So, I'm terrified of the ocean. You show me the ocean. I went to see The Meg, and there were scenes in The Meg that scared me just because it was the ocean. And this movie never once did that for me. And I think that is a sign to how poorly the world was conceived in this movie, because it just never felt like I was underwater. Because you said after the movie, was that your biggest fear come to life? I'm like, no! And it should have been. He is the best there is at scaring people, and I am the easiest it is to scare when it comes to the ocean, and I felt nothing. It's like I'm playing basketball against Jordan in his prime, and I beat him, and I don't understand how that's possible. And I think that has to do with it's the visuals of this movie. You don't feel anything in this movie.
To be fair, the only James Wan film I think I've ever seen is the Fast and Furious movie that he ended up directing, and I think all the action sequences are fantastic.
And I love that you bring that up, because I brought that up to somebody. Other Jesse. I don't know if you guys know. Because he was like, who directed this movie? I said, oh, it's James Wan. He's done the Fast and Furious movie. And he goes, oh, okay. And I was like, no, not oh, okay. That doesn't explain these movies, because the Fast and Furious movies are
Those are well done action films.
They're well made.
There's a reason people like those.
Right. Everything they attempt to do in those movies, yes, they're ridiculous. Yes, they're silly, but they do them well. When a car is flying through the air, that looks like a car flying through the air. When Vin Diesel is flying through the air, it looks like
to catch
Vin
Michelle
Diesel.
Rodriguez.
Right. It looks and feels like Vin Diesel is flying through the air. In this one, nothing felt or looked or felt like it was supposed to feel. I didn't get anything. Fast and Furious, when they try to be funny, they're funny. They're hilarious.
I think this movie's very hit or miss on the comedy.
Yeah, when it tries to be funny, I mean, there was, and I wish I could remember specifically the scenes, but I know there was a very dramatic scene where a bunch of people in the theater started cracking up. And it might have been the Black Manta reveal. I know that's when me and Colin, at least, for sure, started cracking up. And I know there was a scene where other people in the theater started cracking up. And then there was also another scene that was supposed to be funny, and it was dead silence in the theater. And then someone in the back goes...
But the action sequences are
Some of the action sequences
the
are
actual
great.
Fight scenes.
When there are actual people actually fighting, those are good. Yes.
Like, from the moment Nicole Kidman pulls out her trident and starts fighting people, that is a fantastic, like, fight scene.
It was a little bit much, but it was cool, yeah.
It's a lot, but I think that it sets the tone for what you're going to see for the rest of the film. And I really enjoyed
the Italy sequence was really good.
The Italy sequence
is with all the like extended long takes
and all the transitions. Let's go
Those
from mirror and pull back, and here's.
Still hate the stupid Lego monsters that are chasing them, but other than that, yeah, it was cool.
Like I love I was like, and that's not the only time they do those cool transitions too, where it's like the camera's moving this way and now we're here. I didn't comment on this.
Okay.
Amber Heard, I think, is the one.
The Mirror review.
Also, I think she's the one who looks most like she's swimming in this movie.
Because of her hair?
No. There was one moment during the Ring of Fire when she goes and she leaves and she just does
actually
this whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, she looks like she's actually swimming.
Although, to be fair, should Atlanteans look like they're swimming?
Yeah.
Because I kind of liked the fact that they could just move so easily from spot to spot.
It depended. Sometimes, like, for something like that where she's kind of taking off her clothes at the same time.
That's fine.
She's definitely
I did say she did do like one of these kind of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had to move her arm. Like, yes, you need to. The rest of the time, she didn't typically look like. But I
actually didn't mind that. I thought, like, yes, it doesn't look as realistic. It would be more realistic for them to do this.
But I like the movement in everybody's movement.
Oh, what'd you think of the voice modulation when they were underwater?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was good.
It was fine. I heard a lot of complaints about it online. That's why I wanted to talk about it.
Sometimes I couldn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah.
Every so often
it got a little...
But, like, most of the time, it was really cool.
And, again, I like the idea of doing that.
You should.
Yeah.
Make it more realistic.
Yeah.
There was also, on top of the voice modulation, one of the things that I really liked, a lot of the times was when water was moving, it didn't just look like it was moving behind them. It was in front of them.
Like a little bit distortion.
Their facial distortion would also happen.
Just enough.
Just enough that it's like you can notice it, but not too much that it's distracting.
Although at one point it was distracting. I forgot what the context is, but I know we were looking at one of those stupid-looking white stormtrooper guys. And, like, at that point, his whole body was doing this. That was a little much. But that was literally the only shot where I thought it was too much.
All right.
I think that was the first one they were trying the effect on.
I don't know.
What do you think?
No,
all right,
I'm not feeling that one.
Take a drink every time a exposition scene is interrupted by
a
an
friggin' explosion.
Because it's
Why?
so
There are
ridiculous.
other ways to end a conversation.
Not according to who wrote this movie. It wasn't James Wan,
I
so
don't
I
know
don't want to
who
blame
wrote it.
James Wan. But James Wan left it in there, so I'll blame him for this too. It's like, you're a writer too. You know, you get to that moment where you've written a scene, but you don't know how to get out of that scene.
They should have gotten rid of some of the ones from earlier.
Yeah.
Those shouldn't, like the one where they were, where Aquaman's having that secret meeting with Volko and Mera, in that little
Yeah,
pirate
and then
ship
an explosion happens.
That didn't need to happen.
The little
There was-
pirate ship,
They
Little
literally
Mermaid,
should
that
have.
was
They
great.
should have stealthed on him. Is what they should have done. Who sends an explosion first?
I don't know. The worst entrance in the entire movie is Black Manta's. He does the explosion thing, interrupts the conversation. Then he lands like, boom, stands up in slow motion. The camera zooms in on his face. I said out loud in the theater, I went, bum, bum, bum. And then the music went, bum, bum, bum.
I remember that. That was the moment I heard you do it.
There was another moment, too, where Colin did it. Colin out loud went, bum, bum, bum. And then the music went, bum, bum, bum. I'm like, I liked, there's a guitar riff that plays every time Aquaman shows up.
Yeah, because
I like that.
That's like his theme.
And then there's just like this weird 80s synth that plays occasionally during some action scenes, and I like that. Everything else was garbage. Everything else was, it was like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Future of the franchise. Shazam's
Fucking
coming.
Lord knows, man.
Shazam's coming out.
I'm sure this movie will get a sequel because it's going to make a lot of money.
It's already making a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's already made $100 million
As
worldwide.
far as like the DC universe, is there even a DC universe anymore? I don't know.
It is. There is still a DC
the worlds of
universe.
DC. See, Shazam's coming. I'm really excited for Shazam.
I am too.
8-4 is coming out. It's
That's
cool.
gonna be good.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I feel like Patty Jenkins is gonna come and knock it out of the park again.
Yeah, probably. Just give us a better third act and that'd be great.
Birds of Prey starts filming next year.
Yeah.
Or next
the,
month.
Emancipation.
Birds of Prey: The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, I believe, is the name of the movie.
Oof.
I don't know if I have that memorized perfectly, but I can't wait to see that at the box office.
And you know what I'm getting more and more excited for?
What?
And I kind of hate that I am? The Joker movie. The standalone has nothing to do with anything. Joaquin
Not a
Phoenix
part of
Joker
this
movie.
franchise, but okay.
But it is, but it isn't kind of thing.
It's
so
not,
it's
though.
worth mentioning. But I don't know if that movie is successful. It might get a sequel. And then if it gets a sequel, then you're going to have Batman at some point. If you have Batman, are you going to introduce, like, are we just going to restart the DCEU with this Joker movie?
No, they'll just have multiple. They'll have a multiverse.
I don't know, man. I've lost so much faith in the DC universe. And it sucks because I'm such a huge DC fanboy.
Oh my God.
I love DC. I grew up on DC. I only became a Marvel fan when the movies started kicking ass, but DC was my life, and now it's like,
Wah, wah.
yeah, I hate it. I hate that everything DC sucks right now.
That's not true. Titans is not bad. Titans has gotten better.
I've only seen, 3-4 episodes?
I think you've seen 2.
Okay, well, those were not great.
I'm like,
so.
you've seen 2 out of 10.
Yeah, well, Batman looks crappy in the
yeah.
trailers.
I'm looking forward to Shazam. Looking forward to
yeah.
Birds of Prey because Black Canary is my favorite DC superhero.
I gotta see some footage first before... And even then, like, at this point, I've learned not to trust the trailers for DC movies.
I'm excited about all the people who are involved in Birds of Prey.
See, that's the problem. Every one of these movies has had great people involved, both in front and behind the camera. Freaking James Wan. Hello, James Wan. But I don't know. They sign up for a DC movie and they're just cursed.
I didn't have as much problem with the visuals as Jesse did.
Yeah.
I can
That's really my biggest.
I think I can understand where you're coming from and I can see your point, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't have as much of a problem with what they were going for. I like all the concepts that were created from this film.
Yeah, I think the reason the visuals upset me so much is because it's James Wan. His movies look so... The Conjuring movies are visually awesome. Insidious literally changed the way horror movies look because of how good the Insidious movies was. And the Fast and Furious movies look really good. And then this movie, and it looks like they never got past the previs stage, and they were just like, ship it out as is. You shouldn't look at this and go, ooh, CGI. You should look at this and go, ooh, the ocean. Ooh, Atlantis.
Yeah, like maybe you went too far.
Yeah. We both had the same favorite scene, I guess, which was Italy, right?
Yeah, the Italy action sequence is probably the best.
Wait, but it wasn't when they get to the Sahara and they start playing the Bless the rains down to Africa.
I'm still mad about it. Play
Which
score.
is weird because this movie has no problem being super dramatic with their music. Dun, 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 dun.
You're either on one end of the scale or you're on the other. That's it.
A lot.
That's that.
But yeah, Italy was cool. I just feel like I'm not going to remember this movie tomorrow.
Ooh.
It's going to be, it's just, it was there, it happened. I didn't hate it, I think, as much as I'm coming off that I hate it. It was like a perfectly... Actually, let me rephrase. I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
Yeah.
But not for the reasons they wanted me to have fun. That was the thing. Colin and I came out of this movie just smiling.
But Colin
and
had fun because that's what he
glowing.
expected.
Right, but my thing is, like, I don't think that's what James Wan was going for. Go watch it the way you watch, like, Sharknado or The Room. If you watch it with that kind of mindset, you're going to have a lot of fun in this movie. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I don't think it's a good movie at all. It's fine.
I liked the movie. I feel like it's one of those movies that I'll probably like the more I watch it. I could see that they were trying to go for this, like, space soap opera but under the water type of feel with it, and they were trying to go like Flash Gordon type of movie but with the ocean.
But, like, we did that in Phantom Menace.
My favorite part of the movie are all the old school action adventure, Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Mummy, 1999 type of feel scenes, you know.
Yeah, had that been the tone
of the whole movie, it would have been a great movie. Yeah. Mara and Aquaman hanging out in, like, the awesome, like, oh, we're like Raiders type of clothing.
Yeah, that was
like cool. Those scenes are, like, magnificent. If that tone had been across the entire movie, it would have been fantastic, because those are the best parts of the movie. You know, it's not horrible.
No, it's definitely not.
It's a lot of fun. I liked it. I think it's not a great movie, but it's not a bad movie either.
Okay, I have a cool. Rank the DCEU movies with Aquaman.
Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, Batman vs. Superman.
Justice League, you forgot.
Oh, shoot. Justice League goes under Man of Steel. Except I have way more fun watching Suicide Squad than most
I'm going to go Wonder Woman. I was going to go Man of Steel #2, then Aquaman.
And then Justice League?
Yeah, and then Batman vs. Superman, and then Suicide Squad. Even though I still think Batman vs. Superman is a better movie than Justice League, but I had more fun watching Justice League because
fun.
I'm a DC whore. So, yeah.
But yeah,
that's it, guys.
Those are our thoughts on Aquaman. Yeah. It was fun.
It was fun.
It wasn't great, but it was fun.
Kind of way. But anyway,
have fun out
you
there,
can
guys.
find us on all the medias.
All the medias.
All Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, not Tumblr anymore. I don't know if we were ever
I
Tumblr.
think we are.
We're on Tumblr?
No, we're still on Tumblr.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at thejester1138. Ooh, where can they find you? I don't think.
What?
Yeah.
No, I have introduced it before.
Have you?
You can find me on at Dreamy Films on Twitter and on Instagram.
Cool.
Tell us what you guys thought about Aquaman.
Yeah.
Did you guys like it? What do you guys think about the interpretation of Aquaman and Mara? I think they did a good interpretation of them. I'll give them that. Sure. It's a good interpretation. But yeah.
What level of pastel coloring is too much for your taste?
What?
Let us know in the comments down below.
What order would you guys put the DCEU movies in?
What's your favorite, at least?
What's your ranking?
But yeah. Comment, subscribe, like, share, all that jazz. Notificationize yourself.
The bell.
Yeah, the bell.
Have fun out there, guys.
Yeah, have fun out there. Bless the rains. That was the best I had. That's the best I could come up with.
All right.
Such short notice.
So
come back next week for the Deadpool 2 review.
Into the Spideyverse.
Oh wait, that joke doesn't work because Deadpool 2 actually just came back out again. So his name's Orm.
Orm.
Yeah, it's like someone meditating for a very short amount of time. Just Orm. Yeah, Voltron couldn't do anything special.
His name is Volko.
Ta-da.
Yeah, I disagree on Batman v Superman.
Granted, Batman v Superman is 4 hours long. It doesn't need to be that long.
This is also not a review for Batman v Superman.
It's not a review for Batman because of the kiss at the end, where it's this ridiculous slow-mo 360 shot with fireworks going off in the background.
I just wish it wasn't a wide shot.
Oh man, I'm sick. I can't do that.
You did that.
Oof.
I didn't make you do that. That was all you.
Yeah. Well, Wonder Woman looks good. I've never liked Wonder Woman's costume, but it looks good in the movie.
It's a very cool costume.
Yeah. Nothing like a bathing suit to go fight in the battles with.
Hey, she's got a skirt on.
Oh, excuse me. And what is the name of that trench? I always call it the Marinara Trench.
It's the Marianas.
Marianas Trench.
Mariana.
I have to call it the Marinara because I made that joke one time and it stuck, and that's all I can call it. Willem Dafoe hasn't aged in the past 20 years. Like, neither has Nicole Kidman, but for their part, they didn't do much to Nicole Kidman because she also hasn't aged in 20 years. Willem Dafoe has looked like the Crypt Keeper since at least the first Spider-Man.
That's 20 years ago.
Right. It's like...